The first week of school was always chaos, but for Mr. Carter, the single dad who volunteered at Oakwood Elementary, it was just another chance to keep an eye on his son, Eli. After years in the military, order and safety came naturally to him, and no one messed with his boy. That morning, the new teacher arrived, Ms. Harper, young, graceful, and with a calm confidence that made people turn their heads. She carried herself differently, shoulders straight, gaze steady, movements deliberate. Carter noticed it right away. But not everyone was welcoming. The school had a group of troublemakers, a few 8th graders who thought they ruled the hallways. When Ms. Harper gently corrected one of them during class, they decided she'd be their next target. By lunch, Carter overheard whispers about the new teacher being cornered near the parking lot after school. He didn't hesitate. Years of discipline kicked in as he moved quickly toward the commotion. 3 boys stood blocking Ms. Harper's way, sneering and throwing taunts. "Come on, miss, don't act all tough now," one said, stepping closer. Before Carter could step in, Ms. Harper raised her hand slightly, calm as ever. "Gentlemen," she said evenly, "I suggest you walk away before you regret your choices." The biggest one laughed. "Or what, you'll call the principal?" That's when Carter moved forward. "Hey, enough." His voice boomed like a command drill. "Apologize to your teacher and get out of here before I call your parents." The boys turned, startled by the muscular man in a veteran's jacket. They grumbled, muttered something, and started to back off. Ms. Harper smiled softly. "Thank you, Mr. Carter. You didn't have to." But before she could finish, one of the boys made a sudden lunge at her backpack, trying to snatch it as a parting prank. What happened next made Carter freeze. In a blur, Ms. Harper twisted aside, caught the boy's wrist midair, pivoted, and gently but firmly flipped him onto the ground, without hurting him, just enough to make a point. The other boys gawked, speechless. Ms. Harper crouched beside the stunned student and said calmly, "Karate black belt. I told you to walk away." Then she stood, brushed off her sleeve, and looked at Carter with a small, knowing smile. "I appreciate your backup," she said, "but I've handled worse." Carter blinked. Apparently, for the first time in years, the soldier was speechless. But deep down, something sparked, curiosity, admiration, maybe even something more. The next day, Oakwood Elementary buzzed with whispers. Everyone had heard about what happened, the new teacher who took down a bully without breaking a sweat. The boys were fine, just embarrassed, and surprisingly polite now. Mr. Carter, however, couldn't stop thinking about it. He'd seen skilled fighters before, but Ms. Harper's precision, her composure, was something else. He wasn't used to being surprised, but she'd managed it easily. During lunch duty, he found her sitting under a tree, sipping tea and grading papers. "Mind if I join you?" he asked. She looked up, smiled. "Not at all, Mr. Carter. Though I assume you're not here for the tea." He chuckled. "Guilty. I wanted to apologize if I overstepped yesterday. I just thought that I couldn't handle myself." She finished lightly. He rubbed the back of his neck. "Yeah, something like that." Ms. Harper laughed softly, her eyes kind. "I get it a lot. People see a quiet woman in a classroom and assume I'm fragile." She set her pen down. "But teaching is like martial arts, you stay calm, adapt, and know when to strike, verbally, of course." Her words impressed him more than her skills had. She wasn't showing off. She was centered, grounded, the kind of strength that came from pain and discipline. "You were in the army, weren't you?" she asked suddenly. He nodded. 15 years. Afghanistan, mostly. I got out when Eli was born. His mom," he paused. "She didn't make it." Her face softened. "I'm sorry. It's okay. I learned to be both dad and mom." She smiled faintly. "And you're doing well. Eli's a good kid." The silence that followed wasn't awkward. It was warm, familiar, the quiet understanding between two people who'd both fought their own battles. A week later, the school held a Parent Appreciation Day. Carter volunteered again, helping set up tables. Ms. Harper, of course, was running the student performance, organizing chaos like a general leading troops. But just as things were going smoothly, one of the expelled boy's older brothers, a known troublemaker from the high school, stormed in with a group of teens. "Where's the teacher who humiliated my brother?" he shouted. Carter instantly stepped in front of Ms. Harper, protective instincts flaring. "You need to leave, son. This is a school event." The teen sneered. And who are you? Her bodyguard. Before Carter could respond, Ms. Harper placed a gentle hand on his arm. It's fine. No, it's not. But she'd already stepped forward. Your brother wasn't humiliated, she said calmly. He learned a lesson in respect. I'd be happy to teach you the same if you need it. The boy laughed, took a step closer. And in one motion, Ms. Harper swept his leg, disarmed him of the soda can he'd been holding, and stood poised but non-threatening. The crowd gasped. Carter couldn't help but grin. Still think she needs protection? One of the students whispered. Security arrived soon after, and the teens were escorted out. Carter stayed behind, shaking his head in disbelief. You know, he said with a smirk, I don't know if I should feel relieved or intimidated. Ms. Harper laughed. Maybe a little of both. That evening, as the sun dipped below the playground, Carter walked her to her car. You ever think about teaching self-defense here? He asked. Kids could use a lesson or two. She looked thoughtful. I've considered it, but I'd need a co-instructor. Someone who knows about discipline, leadership. He caught her meaning, smiled. I might know a guy. They both laughed softly. As she opened her car door, she turned to him. Thank you, Mr. Carter, for stepping in that day. Even if I didn't need saving, it meant a lot. He shrugged. Force of habit. Protecting people is what I do. She met his gaze, eyes bright. Maybe next time, we protect each other. He didn't know what to say, and for a soldier who'd faced gunfire, that said a lot. When she drove off, he stood there for a long moment, hands in his pockets, smiling to himself. For the first time since leaving the military, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. And maybe, the beginning of something new.